Jimmy Butler, he's a very interesting player to me.
He's like, oh shoot, I don't know where to go with the ball because I haven't been able to think.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. Now LeBron's a 4-time champion, and Anthony Davis gets his first.
It's unacceptable. So happy when the Astros lost because it would definitely be a 2020 thing.
Yeah, I was impressed by their game. Braden Point, Andre Palat, Nikita Kucherov, that was the best line in the playoffs, no doubt.
Stay undefeated when they face the mighty Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Sandler, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And the man that agreed with me, we weren't concerned about this team in their start. I did remember bringing up the defense, but I thought they would fix it. You definitely brought up the defense and how poorly it was. And that, of course, the man I'm talking to, Austin.
Yeah, I think we're at the time where it may be a little bit of panic. And I don't. One thing I would like to mention is I don't understand fans sometimes because last Monday, or this past Monday, obviously Todd Bowles did not go for two. The Chiefs get the ball in overtime, win the game. But this time, people are blaming Zach Taylor for going for two. And it's like, well, their offense was utterly amazing. Their defense has struggled. They're probably going to lose the game if they didn't go for two there anyway. So just go for two and try to win the game there. So is Zach Taylor part of the problem? Maybe a little bit. But he is an offensive coach, and their offense has been amazing. Their offense has looked dominant. Let me put it this way, Kevin. Against the Ravens this season, Joe Burrow has thrown for 820 passing yards and 9 passing touchdowns. And they're 0-2 against the Ravens.
Yeah, it really is on the defense. You could argue Zach Taylor because of their slow start mentioning the offense, but it's not really his fault. To me, this kind of comes down to something we've talked about before. I think the Bengals and Cowboys are in a similar position. However, it's because of their GM, but the Bengals have more hope because they have a top 5 quarterback and they actually have a GM that doesn't do well, they can fire. But this is what happens when you have that window. They had Joe Burrow under his rookie contract. Now he is getting paid. Then they also need to find money for T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. And that money was being used to fund the defense. And they did draft picks, and they lost Jesse Bates 2 years ago, right? So that's a key member of their defense from that Super Bowl run and AFC championship run. They lost him just because they couldn't pay him because they had to pay Burrow and Chase. So they've slowly lost guys. I know they did draft a safety while they still had Jesse Bates, but sometimes those picks don't work. And to me, that's what's happening right now is the guys they invested on the defensive side in draft picks are not working out or taking longer than expected. And that's what's happening to them right now. So while the offense is still good, their defense is not doing well.
Do you think it's fixable because of how good their offense has been? I mean, their offense is trying to win them games where they're scoring 35, 38 points and still losing games. So do you think if you just get it fixed a little bit, you could contend a little bit because your offense is so good? Or do you think they have bigger issues that they aren't able to fix this season?
I don't think they can fix it this season. They can still be competitive, like they were competitive with the Ravens both times. It came down to the wire in both times, as you were talking about. So, to me, they can still score a lot of points, but it's really stopping them. And this is a situation where a defensive coordinator may be able to get more what he has on the defensive side of the ball, but that isn't happening. They're the lowest points they've allowed as I'm looking at their season.
Gotta be Patriots.
Actually, it's the Giants.
Okay. But
Patriots had 16, Giants had 7.
Okay. Well, Giants are terrible. And the Patriots aren't that good either. So, I mean, allowing 16 of them is not great. But against actual good teams, Chiefs, Commanders, Ravens, they allowed a lot of points.
Yeah. Chiefs are the lowest right now looking at it with 26. They played the Commanders 38. Um, they even let the Panthers score 24. And that was with Andy Dalton. The Browns 14. So to me, it's a roster problem, but I do think it can be fixed given they're going to have a high draft pick and they can just invest in the defense that way. That's the key thing of what keeps a team competitive and not lulls like they're having right now, similar to the Cowboys, because they're still going to be competitive, but they're going to have a down year just because they need that high draft pick. This is kind of what the goal of parity in the NFL is. Like, hey, you had so many draft picks at the end of the first round, later in the rounds, and you just weren't able to keep up because of the salary cap and how the draft is managed through that. So to me, the Cowboys and Bengals are in a similar situation. Just this is kind of the progression of being competitive. Then you're not competitive, and then you have to hope for better picks. But I do think the Bengals are in a better spot, especially if they keep Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I think they can figure it out. I don't know necessarily if it's going to be this season. I do think they could win playoff games because you just need like one stop from your defense to really give yourself a great chance. So I agree with you that it's not. They aren't going to be true contenders this season because of how bad their defense is, but they could win playoff games. They have a very, very good quarterback, very, very good wide receiver. Their running game has been improved in the last couple games. I know last night it wasn't that great, but against other teams it's been good. And they have a better O-line than it's been for the majority of Joe Burrow's career. So he's not getting hit as much. And they just need to make a lot of changes to their defense during the offseason. Obviously, there was a Trey Hendrickson talk that he ended up signing, but it didn't really make any moves of note at all. I don't remember the last signing since Awuzie.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. And Awuzie is a guy that got lost. To me, they just haven't been able to. They haven't reinvested. To me, that reason is because of the money aspect of just going out and signing guys. Just because they had to pay Joe Burrow, they're expecting to pay Chase. They're trying to sign Higgins. They went out and signed offensive lineman. Orlando Brown Jr. was the guy they spent a lot of money on to help with that left tackle position. So it's just you invested in one side of the ball while you had the cheap side. Now you're trying to flip it, and it's taking longer than expected. So to me, it depends who they're playing in the playoffs because their offense is amazing. I'm just worried about the defense. And we'll have to see how they do in the final parts of the season because you have the Chargers are their next game and then the Steelers, and both of their offenses should be good. They are going to face a very bad offense December 9th with the Cowboys with probably Cooper Rush, could be Trey Lance. But yeah, and then so it depends on if they can beat the Steelers and Chargers to make it back to the playoffs because they play the Cowboys, for the rest of the season. Chargers, Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. So you face potentially 3 bad offenses, but you'll have to see what your defense does against them.
Yeah.
So that concludes our episode. We think this is a longer-term problem that they can't fix this season. Let us know if you disagree with us and be on the lookout for more episodes from Outsiders Opinions.